lecture number 3 and starting from extrude. So extrude means to, you can say, like extending a certain part of a mesh, and by mesh we mean an object with vertices and edges. So that means we will extrude either the edge or either the vertices or combination of that, with that creates a face. So let's go first into edit mode and let's clear what is vertex, what is edge, and what is face. So we have covered this to how to reach edit mode from object mode, which is a default mode, is to use tab key in the scene section or viewport. So by default you can select edges, okay, and if you press shift and hold and then select multiple edges, that means you are selecting multiple edges and combining them, okay. The other one is, my bad, this one is vertex, okay, so these corners are vertices, not edges. And uh, which means combination of two vertices. So if I combine vertex 1 and vertex 2, the line that is joining these both vertices is called edge. So you can do that directly through edge selection. And if I select here, you can see edge is highlighted by white, and orange means these are also added, and this is the last selected edge that is being selected by me. And the final one is face. Face means combination of all these edges to combine and make a side of the object. Or, sorry for my English, but I'm doing my best. So the sides are called faces, okay. That would be easier definition for it. So any object with any side means, in Blender world, it means that it is a face. So when we talk about extrude, extrude works in edit mode because for extrusion you need to be sure that you are selecting a certain part of the object that you need to extend. So if I select a vertex and extend it through extrude key, and for that I will either press, let's see if there is option to do it directly from here. We don't have, so let's go to vertex and select extrude vertices, and by pressing again any axis, like for example I'm pressing x-axis, I can extrude in that direction. So you can see here that I have extended this area, this orange line. So now again if I want to extrude, I'll go back to the vertex and right, and then y-axis to come here. Now you can see I have extruded into the y direction. Again going to vertex and extrude vertex, and then pressing x-axis to extend it to the direction. So now you can see here that we have created a place, and if I press F here by selecting all these vertices, and I can, by F I mean to fill this area. Now this area has a new face, okay. It's not accurate, you can see from here that I missed a certain part, but I hope it's clear that by your right calculations you can do that. So to get it to the accurate section, you should work in two-dimensional. So we know that we are actually extruding a vertex that is in the top of this object. So let's press Z axis, and then now if I go to vertex, extrude, and X axis, and then vertex, extrude in Y axis. As you can see, I'm not telling you any shortcut and I'm doing this manually, is because I want you to know that if you don't have, let's say you have a laptop and your key is not working, like due to some splash of water on the keyboard, you should know how to do it manually too. So after doing this, I'm gonna select all these vertices. As I'm only using the vertex mode, so that's why I'm doing it very manually so that it's clear to you. Now if you see it, it's very accurate and it's better than before. So use your accesses when you want to do it. Let's say you are in this angle of the scene and you want to fill this area, like for example, you want to make a triangle shape, just go to y-axis, select this vertex, go to extrude edge, and you can join that and see with the grids that it's equal. Then again you go to the extrude vertex and press extrude edge. The problem with this is that your cursor pointer is somewhere at the top left corner. You can see that I'm moving this, but the extrude area is actually somewhere else. So this can be very tricky and complex. So it's better to use, as you can see here, first of all, that I made this triangle. But why should we do it manually if your keyboard is right? Just press, let me get back to the original form. I'll select a vertex and press E. So E is the key for extrude, and then just move in the X direction, and then E, Y in this direction, and then E. Now you can see here, of course, I'm not in two-dimensional, so it's little bit complex. So I'm gonna press E again. Okay, again E I pressed, just selected. So one, two, three, four, and same thing. No, nothing any special. But if you want to put two vertices, you can do that too by pressing E. See, now I'm not doing this manually. So X-axis and just do this. So it's very easy and nothing too complicated. Okay. The other thing is, if you want to use two vertices, why select two vertices manually? Select the edge and press X-axis and E. Okay, you can do multiple one and press E here, and you can see here now there is one problem that one side is in y-axis and other is in x-axis. So if I press E and then press x-axis, both will be drawn towards this, but I want these both. So I can do is try a few tricks. Maybe there is one. So extrude spin. Okay, so this creates like a spin effect. But what I want to do is select this one first and just press E and then Y. Do it here first, then E and press X. And if you want to create a very same length design in both directions, just uh, let me get to the Z axis. Okay, just select this one and look at this area when I press E. Okay, and in X axis I have created a area of 1.598 meter, and just select this area E and do the same in 1.95 meter. Okay, so almost same, but not actually going to be accurate. Now the problem is I didn't press any axis, so it's in wrong direction. So I'm gonna do it again. So it's clear to you, and the mistake I did is resolved. Okay. So now they are both 1.958 meter. What else you can do is just select this object and let's just say the length of this object is to be extended further. So extrude face and just press E and do it in X direction or do it in Y direction or do it in Z direction. So it's all depends on where do you want to extend through edges. It's up to you. The final one is select a side and extend it any direction. So it's not necessarily that you can only extend it in certain direction. As you can see, I have done something like this. Okay. So there are multiple ways to extrude, but ultimately they are just combination of vertices or edges. So I hope it's clear. Let's try to create a building so it's easy for you to understand. Instead of resizing this hole, as you can see, if I resize it in Z direction, half the object is bottom like in underworld. Okay, like in uh, underworld means hell. Okay, so this is not right way in my opinion. It should be just select the face edit mode and just rotate it in Z direction. If it's not selected here by default, uh, let's say E, by default it already detected that this face is in Z direction, so it just automatically set it to Z. If it's not, just press Z so that it's in X direction. How to know it's in Z direction? Just press E and you can see the blue line overlapping here. This is Z direction. So the building is extended. Now I'm going into object mode and pressing D for move and then Z axis and putting it in this direction. Okay. So the other way to do is, because this is not right way. If you think so, just place plane and then extend it so that you do not have need to you don't need to move it in G direction to put it on the ground level. So now this is a single object with extension. But imagine I'm a I'm creating a residential building. So I'll press and E, and then if I before pressing E, let's just extend it, and let's say I want to scale it and create it something like this. Let's say building residential 90s. Okay, so these are very complicated one. But what I'm trying to do is, let's say I'm going New York. Let's try something new. Not new, but the traditional building, but the way of it. Okay. So these are some straight buildings, but then there are some buildings that become thinner as soon as you go into the upper floors. Let me see. Is there anyone now? It's simple like when you want to find taxi, you do not find it on the road. So I'm gonna make it clear to you. So this is just a straight building and it's very boring. So I'm gonna give it inner sections as soon as you go in the upper floor. So press S first, and you can see here this is creating a pyramid effect, like it's decreasing the size of the whole object. So what you can do is press and go a little bit further and press S, okay, and then E. So you can see here that I'm creating a building and making it thin. If you do not want to create this section, just simply go back, press E, and then immediately press S. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm gonna do it again. Press E, then leave E key, and then press S. Now it will not create any extra curves or the way we first did. So E, and you can see here it's at very zero plane and extend it. Okay, now press E S again. And you can see here the building is constructed. So this is how you work with extrude. And extrude can be used for other methods too. So let's do that in another tutorial.